So good afternoon, all participants and Professor Banatanwi, Dasmahapatra. Yeah, today we have the second online public lecture on Rangoli, philosophy, designs, and cultures. First, I would like to thank Professor Banatanwi to accept to be the speaker in this afternoon. And may I introduce her first shortly. She was born in Kharagpur and she did her fine arts training from Kala-Bhavana, Visva-Bharati, Santiniketan, and earned PhD in exact humanities from IIT Hyderabad, Telangana. She taught at IIT Hyderabad and was a visiting scholar at College of Fine Arts, Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, PA, USA. Research Associate at Outreach Program, NID, Ahmedabad. Project Designer, National Center for Youth Diversification, NCJD, Kolkata. Except teaching, Professor Banatanwi's professional career include various exhibitions, seminars, workshops, and projects. And she has done lots of exhibition and participated in many conferences. So, and at present, Professor Banatanwi Dasmahapatra is an associate professor in the Department of Design, Kala-Bhavana, Visva-Bharati University, Santiniketan, and she works there. Okay, so the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Professor Sofana, and good afternoon to all the audience, to my friends in Thailand, and very good morning to the friends in India. So it's my great pleasure.
Sorry, ma'am. May we record?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here to share what Rangoli is, what are different meanings it pertains in India. So you know that India is a country full of stories. There are a lot of stories around, and Rangoli in its origin also has many stories. It has different names. It's called differently in different parts of India. So Rangoli originates from the word Rangvalli. Rang means color. Rang is color. And Avali is a row. So it's basically the rows of color. And Valli means creeper. And also earth. It has several meanings. So basically, the creeper is actually drawn in Rangoli with many colors. So this term Rang, it is derived from this dhatu called Ranj, which means to dye, to color. So when we color something, when we dye something, so color enters into each and every porous of that material, that the body, what we color. So so it can be said that we are drenched in color when something is dyed. So there is a story of Lopamudra and Agastya Rishi about Rangoli, how it got originated. So it goes back to Vedic times. Lopamudra was the wife of Rishi Agastya. He was a sage. And both of them used to live in the forest, far away from the locality. So they used to call the hermits. So Lopamudra wanted to help the sage in the process of his worship. So she started Rangoli with the dry colors and the dry grains, the food we eat, and the colors of those grains. So Lopamudra started making Rangoli to please her husband in the process of worshipping. So Lopamudra, she collected the colors blue from the sky. So she went to the 5 elements of the universe. So she got blue from the sky, red from fire, green from water, black from the soil, and white from the wind to make Rangoli. So blue and green, they represent calmness. And red represents the code of conduct. And black represents the strength and stability. And white represents positivity. So that's how Rangoli is being made. So the dry Rangoli was introduced by Lopamudra. There is another story of Sita who introduced the wet Rangoli. So when the story says that when Sita fell in love with the Lord Rama, she wanted to get him as her husband. So she grinded the rice grain, and with the help of water, she made a paste out of it. And she has put a Rangoli in front of the goddess Gauri. Gauri is the wife of the Lord, the god Shiva, is Parvati. Another name is Gauri. So she started worshipping the goddess Gauri. And Rangoli has been put up in the process of that worship. So Rangoli overall, it has a meditative quality. It's not only a decoration. So it goes along with the process of worshipping everywhere. That is why it's so auspicious. It has a, it's very profound in the, from every cultural aspects. So Rangoli and the society, how they connect to each other. The society is, the society, this word originates from the Latin socius and French society, which means companionship. And in Indian term, traditionally, we call it Samaj, which means a meeting place where people got together to bring something or to collect together. So everyone meets in a place like a society and share their ideas, live together, and there is a sense of friendship in it. So Rangoli is in Maharashtra, it's called Rangoli. In Andhra and Telangana, it's called Muggulu. And in Tamil Nadu, it's called Kolam. In Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, it's called Mandana. In West Bengal, Assam and Tripura, it's called Alpona. In Bihar, it's Aripan. In Orissa, it's Jyoti or Jinnuti. In Chhattisgarh or some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana, it's called Chok Puran or Chok Purna. In Gujarat, it's Sathia. In Manipur, it's called Pakhangba. In Himachal Pradesh, it's called Likhnu. And in Kerala, it's called Kolam Ejutupattu. In Almora and Nainital, it's called Apna. In Karnataka, it's called Rangwalli. And in Uttarakhand, it's called Aipan. So, see that how, the kind of expansion it has in the culture. So there are a lot of symbolic significances of Rangoli. There are 3 prominent structures it has. One is the geometric design, which is also called Akriti Pradhan. especially in the mountainous region, it's seen this kind of design. And in the Gangetic plains, mostly floral design, which is also called Vallari Pradhan. I mean, that is the main thing in the design pattern. And in southern part of India, it's called the floral or geometrical design. I mean, both are together, both play together in the pattern. So the circle represents the universe, the entire universe, which comes into within this circle. And a square within a circle represents a culture. So here, this is very interesting that in the universe, where there are different types of life forces are also there, that Rangoli itself is a kind of a creeper which encloses the entire culture. So the different cultural identities of different regions, they get disclosed. A dot or a bindu represents the soul. The upward triangle represents the Purusha or the eternal male quality within us. And the downward triangle represents the Prakriti or the eternal female quality within us. The footprints represent an eternal entry of a deity. So Rangoli is generally put up at the threshold of the houses or at the temples. It is also put up on the place where we put up the idols for worshipping, and also in case of yagn. So the it's a kind of a sacrificial cult which is performed with the very sacred fire. So this is a huge Rangoli in mostly, I mean, this is most probably the celebration during Holi, the festival of colors. This is a floral Rangoli for Onam to mark the homecoming of the king Mahabali in Kerala. This is Sankranti Rangoli, Paithani Rangoli in Maharashtra. This is an image from Santiniketan. So that is how mostly in the rainy season, so in 15th August, we put up this Rangoli with the help of flowers and foliages and creepers, etc. So in Santiniketan, in different seasons, we used different things for Rangoli. So generally, we use the rice flour or the multani mitti. It's a kind of a soil with the help of, which is mixed with water. Traditionally it is used, but we also have to look after the kind of seasons we are going through and how helpful it is for the sustenance of Rangoli in the outdoor. So mostly during the rainy season, we use flowers, foliages, and creepers, etc. for make this Rangoli. And also sometimes the dust colors have been used. So this is another image from Santiniketan. So now I'm coming to little details of some of the Rangolis. So let us start with Muggulu, which is famous in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So in Muggulu, the primary color used is white. Either the rice flour or chalk powder is used. Traditionally, the floor gets cleaned with water and then prepared with cow dung paste so that the dust gets I mean, it should be held on the ground. So it has to be wet, and it is drawn before it dries. So this is mostly done during the harvest festival. So white denotes purity and peace. Red is also used in Muggulu, which denotes devotion and love. Yellow denotes prosperity. So there is different types of Muggulus. There is something called Chukkala Muggulu, the dot designs. Tippudu Muggulu, the curved designs. Chukkala Leni Muggulu, designed without having dots. And Ratham or chariot Muggulu, which is a very big in size. So for a very special occasion, it is drawn on the ground. So here are some examples of Muggulu. And we see how interestingly in every enclosure has a dot. So you see that there are many twists and different types of curves. So in twist, I mean, when something is twisted, it can also be read as the hold, the strength, the power of holding something, and which is very innate. So the innateness could be within oneself, within the society, between friends, and between cultures. So every line encloses one point, and after enclosing the point gives different structures or different shapes to the lines. So other way around, it discloses the characteristics of how, I mean, the way the lines have been used to make this design. And also point or a window plays an important role traditionally. So window is like the life force. So this is something which symbolizes a beginning and or an end. So the fruition happens. So anything begins or takes its birth from a bindu, from a point, and also dissolves into it. So that's why bindu is very important, and is very importantly used in the designs. And so I mean, see that this it's so well placed and so rhythmic. All the lines are so rhythmic around the points. So now I'm coming to kolam, which is very famous in Tamil Nadu. So kolam is something which is practiced in everyday life. So this is drawn around a grid pattern. So many points are put first, and around the points or following the points, lines have been made. So kolam has an intricate twist also and curves. Each enclosure consists a dot in its center. Dot represents the mother goddess and also symbol of fertility. The vermilion dot is a symbol of blood, the source of life. So there are also different types of columns. Chikku or Sikku column, Neli column. The lines drawn around the dots made by rice flour. Padi column is a beautiful blending of geometric and floral pattern. Kambi column is a wire or thread-like column. So the story behind its practice is such that so this practice, and mostly in Rangoli, that it's an adoration of different gods and goddesses. So here it is the adoration of the goddess Lakshmi. So the story says that goddess Lakshmi enters into a house where every creature can enter. So the rice flour is used for its design, and so ants do not have to go very far to get the food. So ants can eat it, and birds can eat it, and so they get food right there. And it is believed that so when every creature can have their food at the threshold of a house and can enter in the house, so goddess Lakshmi can also enter in the house and stays there. So it is, and that's why it is practiced in every day, and it is drawn, it gets washed off, and then the next morning again it is drawn afresh. So and it also represents the removal of evil spirits. So nowadays the colored rice flour is also used in the execution process. Limestone and red brick powder are also used in special occasions. So here are some images of the kolam designs. This is also very similar to Muggulu. It's very geometric in the formation, and there are a lot of there is also calculation of how many dots should be there, and what kind of, on the basis of the kind of pattern or the kind of shapes we are looking for. So here we see that the dots actually little bigger as small square. It actually got the square shape within the squares, and it's also a combination of a little floral motif and the geometric pattern. It's a beautiful blending of the both. And lines are also very interesting here. And one more important thing is that there is no broken line. So it has to be made in continuous line, so that there is no gap in between the lines, that the god or goddess you are worshipping at home cannot move out from home. So that's how one can keep them at home and keep continuing the worshipping. Here also we see the design which is made in front of the door. This is a kolam with the powder colors and multiple colors. This is again at the threshold of a house. And now I'm coming to Mandana of Rajasthan, or Mandana in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. So Mandana derives from Mandan, which means beautification. So the community belongs to this practice is the Meena community of Rajasthan. It's done only on the floor in Madhya Pradesh. It's done both on the floor and on the wall in Rajasthan. So the very prominent occasions when this Mandana is made is Navratri and Deepavali. Navratri is during this Durga Puja festival. Before that, this 9 days of worshipping goddess Parvati, and Deepavali is the festival of lights, and many other religious worship and auspicious days. Designs are made to invoke the presiding deity and the festival. The main colors used are red and white. So red comes from the brick and white comes from the chalk. So the ground preparation is done with the cow dung paste, cow dung mixed with local clay or red ochre. I mean both. It could be with the red ochre or without the red ochre. Or a little bit of red ochre. Chalk powder or lime is used for drawing on the ground with the help of a date twig. So it's, I mean, most of the rangolis are done freehand, and sometimes some brushes naturally made, and in modern times the artificial brushes are also getting used. So see the beautiful natural ambience which gets created in this design, and the play of white within the red lines is very important, and the gaps in between. So this within the design pattern, and see the the dots which are also enclosing the triangle or the rectangular spaces on the surface. So there are different varieties of shapes can be seen, and these are the marnas done on the wall. And it's very organic expressions are also there in the design, very natural. So which is very interesting here, that this is a form of practice which is not done, which is never separated from life or the everyday life. So, and that is why it is drawn so naturally everywhere. It can be drawn everywhere and anywhere where people live. It's not something which should be separated. So this is this design is drawn around a very small window of a mud house. So here we see the design is done at the same time on the floor and on the wall. So it looks like as if the pallu of a sari is actually is wrapping around the house. Very interesting animal motifs, and it's very interesting that there is a kind of a life force which could be captured in the drawing. And here we see a kind of a narrative, a narrative from the everyday life, that a woman is sort of collecting water and doing some household work, and the birds are around, animals are around, and there are different flowers and foliages. So everybody is doing engaged in their own practice. So it's most probably she is collecting water from a well. Okay, so now I'm coming to Alpona of West Bengal. So Alpona, the term Alpona derives from the word Alimpan, which means to plaster or to coat. The rice flour, white stone, and lime are traditionally used to make an Alpona. It's generally drawn by fingers. And also traditionally it is drawn by fingers. But now it is people are using brushes. So the rhythmic elements of nature is very prominent in Alpona. So the reality of color, how we see color, how we imagine a color, and the play of light. So the color and the play of light and shadow. So that's very important in Alpona. So when we put the rice flour with the help of water and make a paste and put Alpona on the floor. So this is something which is like only white on maybe on a red floor or a black or gray floor. So there we see the playfulness of light which comes naturally into it. And because white reflects all the colors, so there is it's a kind of a visual illusion sometimes happen. The whether the Alpona is actually on the ground or little above of it, little above of the ground, because of the play of light. So it gets a dimension. So it's associated with the fasting ritual and worshipping important occasions like marriage, fete ceremony, birthday celebration, etc. And the kind of Alponas we have been seeing in Bengal is there is a lot of inspiration, lot of resources have been taken from nature. I mean, there can't be anything better than nature as resource for any creative purpose. And so nature teaches us a lot. So this is an Alpona in a village of Bengal, and see how the Alpona has got its spread across its space. So it's drawn somewhere and it gets an expansion till the threshold. So as if it has a flow of water. So you just drip little portion of water and how it spreads on the ground. So something like that is it's there, and also the flow of a river. So these are the natural resources people use. So now this is an Alpona drawn at the threshold with the motif of food, as if goddess Lakshmi is entering. So that is the symbol. And it, I mean, the mark gets retained on the floor. This is Alpona Alpona has been very integral part of learning and celebrating life and arts in Santiniketan. And because I have been in Santiniketan since few years, I studied there and now teaching. So I have seen it very closely, and how it has been used and seen as a part of any celebration and part of our learning process. So this is an Alpona. I mean, there are two Alponas by an ex-student, Shumitra Narayan. And she was a student of Gauri Bhanjo and Jamuna Sen, the daughters of Nandalal Bose. So, we see so rhythmic, so fluid lines, and rhythmic, fluid, at the same time, so bold lines are there in her Alponas. So this is in Chatim Tala in March 1954. This is a place where Rabindranath Tagore's father, Mahorshi Devendranath Tagore, he sat for worshipping the Brahman, the entire cosmos. So every year, during, to celebrate this day in Santiniketan. So for this celebration, this Alpona gets put up on the floor and on the wall of this place. So this is also the day when the Visva-Bharati got started. It happens in, this is in December in English, according to the English calendar. So this is the plugging ceremony, the cultivation of land to grow crops. So this is also a part of, it's an academic festival also in Sriniketan. So this Alpona is, it's generally gets put up to celebrate this occasion. This is also another occasion where a big Alpona we see in the outdoor place in Santiniketan. And see, mostly the women are actually, basically, this is kind of an art practice which is practiced by the women of our country. Traditionally, also in modern times, and we see some people, some male also, they are also getting into this kind of practice. But traditionally, and mostly it is done by the woman. So we see very simple and at the same time very profound Alpona by Gauri Bhanjo, the daughter of Nandalal Bose. So here we see the conch shell and the water waves. So the water waves and the formation of the conch shell, they are used in this Alpona. This is another Alpona by Jamuna Sen with the students of Kala-Bhavana in earlier times. This is an image from the recent past for the same occasion on Shati Posh. That the place is getting prepared for the celebration. And we see that how naturally and beautifully it gets imbibed with the nature. So the color of nature and the color of alponas, they get merged into each other. And that's how in this practice, in this process of designing, that one complements the other, and which is very natural and profound in Santiniketan. This is in the Upasana Griha in Santiniketan. It's a place where one can go and worship for the Brahman. There is no idol here, but it's a very holy place. It's a very special place, and in special occasions there is always a function in this place. So these are the, this is the Alpona from the 3rd December's celebration, the birthday celebration of our teacher, Master Moshe Nandalal Bose, at his residence. So on this day, the teachers and students start a procession from his studio in Kala-Bhavana and walk to reach his residence by singing. And we also light lamps. We walk by holding the lamps and also lit lamps there. So this is a kind of, this is the way how one can pay homage to the respected person. So now I'm coming to Aripan of Bihar. So it's an adoration of a ground. So as if we are adoring a ground to make it fertile. So something has to be drawn on the land. So something to be drawn to make the land fertile. The rice-paste, vermilion are mostly used in the process. It's drawn only with the fingers. Brush is not used. The birds, animals, flowers, particularly the lotus, leaves, trees, human figures, fruits, tantric symbols, gods and goddesses, diyas, swastika, mountains, and rivers are mostly drawn. So swastika means it has a very great importance in Indian society. Swa means just good, and astika is the existence. So swastika represents the existence of good spirit. So let the good spirit prevail in the universe. So that is how this symbol is very important in Rangoli. So these are Aripan of Bihar. So this, again, we see the red dots within the white lines. So maybe to represent the life force. And we see that the coating is actually done by hands. And the way it is done, the way it is coated, there are very fine lines one can see on the ground. And the reflection of the ground is on the alpona, and the reflection of the alpona is on the ground through the lines. And as if they are in conversation in between. And that's how it becomes so lively. This is another image of Aripan. And it's called Aipan in Uttarakhand. So in Uttarakhand, it's very indigenous to the Kumaon region of Uttarakhand. It brings good fortune drawn at the places of worship and home. Geometrical and floral motifs are used in making of its design. Vertical lines in odd numbers. Rice flour called Vishwar solution is used for designing. Dots play an important part in the design. So in many places, we are seeing that how dots have been used in the process of making alponas. So the visual properties of Aipan are the lotus of 8 petals. It's a symbol of purity, prosperity, cosmic harmony, enlightenment, and self-regeneration. An octagonal geometric pattern with lotus and swastik. The purpose of this practice is in North India, it's called in the place or in the process of Havan, which is also known as Homan in South India. So home is something, it's an act of offering through consecrated fire. The footsteps of the goddess Lakshmi is important in this, as a part of this design. So this is drawn around the place where Havan is going to be performed. So the space gets prepared for Havan with Aipan. So, and also in Deepavali, in the celebration of the color festival, this is drawn. Genu Aipan with 13 dots in the center, which is drawn there, for that particular purpose. And in the purpose of the thread ceremony, Bhadra Aipan at the places of worship of the offering, yagna. Variable numbers of dots are mostly 12, 19, 24, 36 are common. Jeev Matrika and the Lord Ganesha, they are visualized in the design. And the first sun is actually shown on that day for a newborn baby. And for a newborn baby to show the first sun, a chowki is being prepared. And on top of the chowki, this Rangoli is being made. The chowki is designed. And the purpose of making the chowki is, and it's called Namkaran chowki. And so the newborn has to be given a name on that day. And on the same day, the newborn will see the first ray of the sun. So everywhere we are seeing, it's so holy, so auspicious, so special to our life. And there is also a practice that an ugly sketch of a demon or a bad spirit is drawn on the outer side of a soup, and the goddess Lakshmi and the god Vishnu are drawn inside of a soup. And on a very particular day, the soup is taken to each and every corner of a house and in every room, and bitten by a sugarcane stick for the removal of bad spirits and to welcome Lakshmi and Vishnu at home. So these are also in this area, this region, this is a traditional practice. So this is an example of the chowki, how it is designed, where the idols of the gods and goddesses will be put. So this itself is actually taken as a temple. So this is another design of the chowki. This chowki is made in front of the bridal homes here to welcome the groom. So this is on the wall. And this is a swastik. So this is wall art, and on the right hand side we are seeing that at home, on the puja temple, very simple vertical lines are drawn as a part of designing the place where one comes for worshipping. So this is the icon to celebrate the festival of lights. And we see very intricate, very fine lines are drawn here, and mostly the geometric patterns we see, and the god Ganesha is painted here. It also has a beautiful blending of the geometrical pattern and the floral pattern. So now this is Jyoti or Jinnuti and Chita of Orissa. This belongs to the rural Orissa. It's drawn with the help of semi-liquid rice paste called pithau on the floor and wall of the mud houses. It's generally drawn with the fingers. Sometimes a brush gets prepared by attaching cloth with a twig. Motif of Lakshmi Puja. So a stack of paddy is actually it's kept for Lakshmi Puja, and this is taken as a motif in terms of making this design for Lakshmi Puja. And for Durga Puja, the white dot superimposed with red is a worshipping significance of Shiv and Shakti. So the purpose of making Jyoti or Jinnuti in Orissa is to celebrate the harvesting festival to welcome the goddess Lakshmi. This mostly happens during the month of January, end of December or January. These are some designs drawn inside the house. Here we see the floral designs with the dots, and the lamp adds on to the pattern. This is drawn on the wall of a house. This is just next to the door of a mud house. And these images actually show that how, where they belong to. That the places are very in the interior of this state is actually visible. So now it's Chalk or Chalk Purna of Punjab, Haryana, Chhattisgarh, and some parts of Uttar Pradesh. So Chalk means square or an auspicious space of a house. Purna is actually complete. So it means to fill or to draw. So a space has to be filled with something, which is called that Rangoli as chalk Purna. So it's more than 1,000 years old practice. It resembles on the village potters' toys and Indus Valley figurines. drawn on the floors and the walls. Various festivals, including Holi and Diwali, are very important for this purpose. Flowers, creepers, peacock, plants, different geometrical patterns in vertical, horizontal, and oblique lines are used in the design. The ground gets prepared by using cow dung and red clay. Then the design is done by rice flour paste on it. It's called Fulkari chalk in Punjab and Chiteri chalk in Uttar Pradesh. The god Lord Ganesha's image is mostly used here and specially done in weddings. So if we remember that the meaning of square, what does square represent in our tradition is the culture. So here we see that the chalk means the square. So if we look at it as a culture, this is a place, the culture has to be fulfilled. So this is fulfilled with this kind of patterns, this kind of drawings and rangolis. So that means the culture gets enriched with this kind of design. So this is an image of a chalk which is drawn by the rice grain powder. This is a chalky for worshipping or for any special occasions. They get designed like this. So this is in Punjab, this is on the wall. And in Gujarat, this Rangoli is called Sathiya or Gahuli. So Sathiya means Sathi means the companion, a friend. And Sath is something where two people come together. It's very popular in Gujarat and within the Jain communities. It's drawn in the temples of worshipping. A very continuous line without having a dot grid is an important feature of this practice. The rice grains and white rangoli powder are used. Prominent motifs like Om, Swastik, Kalash, Shankh, Surya, the sun, and the chakra, the wheel, etc. They are drawn in its design pattern. So there are different names depending on when and where it is drawn. So Nandhrad Gahuli, it's an auspicious motif in Jainism, a swastik drawn within a square. So again, swastik drawn within a square. So swa means something good and astik is the existence. Swa astik. So the good existence within a square. So the existence of good spirits within a culture. So the culture is very special. It's enriched with things around, and the reason of worshipping or practicing it either on a daily basis or occasionally is for its sustenance, so that it remains there. And there is something called Solart Gohuli. It's a design of a diya and bati. Diya is the lamp and bati is the fire. So it's a fire lamp. The design originates from two swastiks. So this is here actually the rice grain is used for its design. So it's not drawn by using a brush. So but still the flow is so fluid here. And we see different motifs which are generally used in the process of its design. Now we have come to Manipur. So in Manipur, this Rangoli is called Pakhangba. So this is originated from Meitei community. Pakhangba is the protector. It's believed to be protector and the ruler at the same time of the universe, according to the ancient Meitei mythology. And Pakhangba is the youngest son of the mother goddess. It often represents a coiling form which encircles the mother earth within. So that's how it protects the mother earth with its formation. So this is the motif. This is the image. Yeah, so now Rangoli in Himachal Pradesh is called Likhnu. The Pahari woman, the woman in the mountainous region, they draw diagrammatic designs called yantras at the threshold of their houses on the occasions like marriage ceremony, Holi, Diwali, Janmashtami, Lohri, Ahui, etc. So these are the occasions when this is done. So this is also known as Hogai or Dehar, which apply on its specific forms. Like again, where and when, what is the purpose it's being used. And rice and wheat flour pastes are used for its drawing purpose. So in Hindi also this likhna is to write. So this can also be seen as the visual writing. So visually, either you are writing a story, either you are writing, may not be a story, writing an instances, writing something which should come together. So these are some images of Likhnu. So this also has a very interesting twists and turns. And each and every line is so close, so innate in each other. So they are sort of like they're tightly holding each other on its own. So now this is in Kerala, this Rangoli is called Kolam Ejuthu Pattu. So Kolam means an image, and Ejuthu means drawing, and Pattu means song. So basically, drawing an image with the help of song. So the image can't be drawn if we don't sing. So this is a mode of worship. It's an art form. So generally the dust colors have been used. Dhuli Shilpa. Dhuli refers to dust or powder. Shilpa is art, the creation. So here it's drawing the deities on floor by singing songs to praise the deities and erase the drawing by ritualistic dance steps. So it gets originated and dissolves in the process. So the dance steps, dancing is also part of this practice. So this practice is dedicated to the Lord Betta Karumakan and its mythological association with Bhadrakali, Ayappan, and serpent gods. So it's basically performed in the Kali temples in Kerala. So Betta Karumakan is a hunter son of Lord Shiva and the goddess Parvati. So this is very interesting. This is interesting in another way also. So when we generally draw something, or when we think something, when we imagine something, so in the process of this imagination, many things get erased. So the things which get, remain in imagination, which are very important, most important in that process. So this, the removals of the unwanted things and the sustenance of the very much wanted things in the process, in the same process happens. So here also we see that in the process of making this design or worshipping a god or goddesses, when you were making an image, you were singing, and you were at the same time completely immersed into the process. And from this immersion, when you create something, when you get an image, in the same process, you are dissolving. So it's at the same time, there is a rise and fall in the designing process. So which actually establishes the kind of a meditative attitude towards calling someone, towards calling someone from the heart or worshipping. So in Kerala, Onam is actually a national festival, and it's performed hugely in Kerala. So there is a demon king called Mahabali, and the story is such that though he was a demon king, he was ruling his region very nicely, and there was no poverty. There used to be good crops. Everything was happening nicely. Everything used to be on place, and so people used to adore him a lot, and people used to be very happy with him. So other gods and goddesses, they felt that if it goes like this, then people will not give importance to them. So this demon king is getting more importance, demon king as Mahabali, and he used to be very big in size. And he was also a worshipper of Lord Vishnu. So other gods and goddesses, they met together and they came to Vishnu and requested him to stop this Mahabali from stopping from his good doings. That whatever he is doing, for the well-being of his people, let's stop him from that. So Vishnu came to him as in Brahmin, and he was worshipping. So when Mahabali saw Vishnu as a little Brahmin, he asked the Brahmin, then what do you want? So the Brahmin replied that I want land. So he increased his body with, by Vishnu's 2 steps, he covered most of the region. And then Mahabali felt that he is not a normal person. He is somebody who is very special, or maybe the Lord Vishnu. So Vishnu then asked him that where should he put his 3rd step. Then Mahabali offered his head to him to put his feet, his foot. So, and then he was sent to another world, the nether world. But he also got a boon at the same time because of its devotion. So Vishnu was so pleased that he gave this boon to Mahabali that every year, once a year, he should come back to his land. So Onam is a celebration of worshipping the demon king Mahabali. And there is this another story which is again performed in Kerala by singing a song, Kalam Ejuthu Pattu. So we see so beautiful stories around which are actually written in the shape of different images. So the visual images, the meaning of those visual images, written words, the meaning of the written words and the sounds of it. So everything, all the stories, all the practices, everything got a beautiful blending in the form of Rangoli. I think I should close it now. If anyone has any question, or maybe we can go ahead with discussion on this issue.
First, if nobody asks yet, may I ask you one?
Yeah.
Is Rangoli making help Indian people to learn geometry well? Because it seems that you have to do it like symmetrically. So this can help Indian people to learn geometry well or not?
I'm sorry, if you, could you please repeat your question?
Yeah. For making Rangoli, do you think that it can help Indian people to learn geometry well?
Yeah, that is there. They can
Yeah.
learn geometry well, but first people have to know what is geometry. Right?
Even
What is geometry? Right? So then only one can use it in the process of making Rangoli. So Rangoli is done with geometrical patterns, floral patterns in different ways, or mixing the both. But here it is very important that this is a process of a meditation. So in design, if we see that design is very important in its process than the product. If one is very much involved in the process, then the product will automatically come.
I see.
Right. So it gives a kind of an involvement, how much one is involved. So in Rangoli also, the process is very important, that how it is getting imbibed into one's own culture, how culturally one is rooted. Because if we look at the term design, design is to designate. So it's actually gives a status, where you are, who you are. So it establishes or strengthens one's own being. And that is how design is very much part of our life. It can't be separated. So for the same reason, in my understanding, that design cannot be separated from art. I mean, mostly we see the design schools which are separated from art schools.
I see.
It has different purpose, right? But mind also has a purpose in both ways. Because if I see the purpose is to celebrate marriage, the purpose is to celebrate a thread ceremony. The purpose is to celebrate the festival of colors. So there is no such economic purpose directly. It cannot be sold. It cannot be purchased. But in the process, that is also there. But many people get benefited, and that's how a society survives. So in Rangoli, because of that reason, that one's own involvement is very important, and to know different meanings that which are actually around us, and different, I mean, several different meanings, not one.
Yeah.
So this multiplicity also plays an important role in Indian culture.
Thank you. Any question, please feel free to ask or share.
Good afternoon,
Yeah, good afternoon.
Dr. Dasmahapatra. It was a brilliant presentation to see a
Thank you.
Vivita Mein Ekta, India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to Manipur, and the same thing they are doing. One thing just I want to know, I'm not an expert in this, but just curious to know. I saw some of your slides where people in Kerala, they are doing by the man. Is that like for both the genders, anyone can do the rangolis, or
I mean,
typically
anyone-
it's from north part? Is by the what I know in Orissa, people, especially the women, the morning they wake up with the cow dung and then put the the rice and the powder to welcome Lakshmi, especially by the women of the families. So can you just narrate a little bit about it?
Yeah, in southern India, actually, in some places, and in Kerala also, in some temples, women are not allowed. So it could be for that reason that in those places, it's performed by men. I mean, still that reason is there, but mostly, in most of the part, it is practiced by women. Traditionally, it is there, but in modern times also in the institutions, it is actually practiced by both genders, men and women. But which is coming up now. I mean, nowadays, I mean, those days, women used to be at home. That's how we see women as homemakers. But nowadays, women move out. They go for walk also. So there are several changes also happening in the society. But in southern part of India, what I know is in many temples, women are not allowed. And in those temples, it is performed by men.
Thank you.
Namaste, Dr. Mahapatra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Myself, Dr. Alka. And first of all, I thank you and congratulate you to giving a very vast and very descriptive presentation on this hidden Vedic art form of Indian culture. And I believe that today our Thai friends must have been learned a lot from Dr. Mahapatra on this topic, Rangoli. And you have covered up almost all the aspect on this topic, Rangoli, from north to south. And I would love to add few things on this topic. like being a doctor, definitely our each and every act of our Vedic culture in like in India, mythological way or in other spiritual way, everything has a meaning. Everything has a scientific meaning, rather, I would say, and related to health aspect. So when it comes to Rangoli, so as you mentioned that in most of the areas and places, it is made by women. And in our culture, Vedic culture, Indian woman is the pivot or center point of any family. So she is the dhuri or center point. So when she is healthy in all the aspects, like physical, mental, spiritual, so she can take care of her family in the best way. So this is something, this Rangoli act is something very small part, but it starts as early morning, before dawn, before sunrise. So here comes as she wakes up before sunrise, so that makes her healthy. And sitting on particular posture when Rangoli is made, so normally women sit on Kagasan. This is called Malasan. So this is helpful in their gynecological health.
Right.
And all the fingers are used. Why? Because previously in our mythological and Vedic culture, there were no props used in making Rangoli. Normally fingers were used to make this beautiful art. So all the fingers are used in making Rangoli. So this is called mudra in our yogic science. And when you put Jnana mudra, Prana mudra, Apan Vayu mudra, Dhyana mudra. So this is actually posture with mudra enhance the spiritual stamina of a woman. So once a lady, a woman is full of spiritual energy, physical energy, good thoughts, while she is making Rangoli, she will either chant some bija mantra or some mythological mantra or maybe some folk song internally she will chant. So that makes her happy. And once a day starts with full of spiritual energy, vibrant energy, so definitely that aura in that particular home, what would be, we can imagine. And every person of the family will be affected from that aura, from that act.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to add few things. Otherwise, you have covered so beautifully.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Women are the holders.
Yes.
Holds everything. Yeah. Again, for the goodness to prevail at home.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One more question, ma'am. How Indian women who have work or have done on Rangoli at home, how do they transfer this knowledge to their kids, to the
This
young
generally
daughters?
it's orally transformed. Orally and from the visual practice. Traditionally, it is just transformed from generation to generation. So when I was a kid, then our neighbor was a person who is from Telangana, from southern part of India, from Andhra Pradesh. So the woman actually used to put muggu every day morning and in the evening. So she used to get up in the early morning and then take bath and then get prepared and prepare the ground for muggu and then just give the muggu. And same in the evening. And also she used to collect flowers and make the flower garlands and put on her hair. So she is ready. Always she used to be very fresh and fine. And put this Rangoli in their, at the threshold of their house.
I see. Yeah.
So it is generally gets transformed from generation to generation. It's like if I see my mother, how my mother is giving, so I learn from her and I pass it on to my daughter.
I see.
So something like that.
Very good. Yeah. In Thailand, they have tried to promote the Thai people to do Rangoli near Diwali occasion.
Right.
But that is not quite geometric. medical pattern much. It's not balanced, but I think they have to learn how to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not quite symmetry.
Right. So in Rangoli designs also we see asymmetrical design within the symmetry.
I see.
Both are there. Some symmetrical designs and some asymmetrical design because it is drawn by freehand.
I see.
So
It's
there.
like art, huh? Yeah, I see. Okay.
I think nowadays in current times, focus is more on beautification, more aesthetic. But previously it was sustainable because and somehow I believe that being in this part of this planet, we all have the responsibility to live in harmony and being the part of food chain. We contribute to feed the animals which are who are not able to feed themselves. So we just like we put one meal for cows. Like it is believed that 84 lakhs of deities stay in a cow in cow's body. So if we feed a cow, so we feed 84 lakhs of god and goddess early morning. So likewise, we feed ants and other small insects which eat Rangoli stuff. So this is something sustainable and interdependent. So we are part of this planet and food chain also. Yeah.
Because that many food grains have been used.
Yes.
Beautiful colors.
Yes. And those colors were made of natural ingredients. Like colors were made of vegetables and fruits, not like today's time. That was chemical based and So that was more eco-friendly also, and preserving our climate also as well, I would say.
And in some parts, this practice is dying because of this very wrong understanding of design, just only as decoration.
Yeah.
So when you reduce design to decoration, then everything is gone. The whole spirit, the main spirit is gone.
Yeah.
So then you begin to use the artificial color and make the entire thing very artificially. So there is no human touch there.
Yeah, it's a pity. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. More question, please. We still have some time. So if no more question, on behalf of the audience, I would like to thank Professor Banatanwi Dasmahapatra from Santiniketan very much. And
thank you.
And
thank
hope
you so much, Dr.
to learn
Sofana.
from you more next time.
Yeah, now it's afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. 1:05.
I see. Yeah. But here 2:30 already.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And we will transform your lecture into YouTube, and we will send you a link later.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Shall I send you this presentation via mail?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
And
Sure.
thank you very much, our audience, distinguished guests, and hope to see you next lecture. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you.